Go ahead. We're ready.
Hi, hi there. I loved how you described that we're not ever in the physical or non-physical, that whole way of looking at it. Yeah, it's really interesting to look at. And how you described is more of in all these places, and with our focus or our choices where we're focused or where we're giving attention in the moment, but we're moving through all of it. Where is the in that? Where is the steady, unchanging source of who I am? Like how do I connect that
It does
to
not
that?
exist. That unchanging part of the source you talk about does not exist because it's constantly changing, constantly evolving. Steady is the right word. Unchanging, it is not correct. It is ever changing. The infinite field of everything that exists, what you call that steady source of everything that exists. The nucleus that most, as you say, some would call pure. We are just bouncing around with all these words because of your brilliant question. Everything you said makes total sense, but that part about unchanging, because that steady place within you does not mean that the change is not coming through. It means that it's so steady that it might feel that the change is not coming through because of the steadiness that you have as you're experiencing it. So that what you call sometimes non-physical or unfocused or everything that exists part of you is so steady in its nature that can appear rock solid, but we assure you that the changes are happening at all times. Speak more about that.
Mm-hmm. So then, from a guidance perspective, because the way I would be thinking of so it isn't so much about steady. I like that sort of. Sorry, it isn't so much about the unchanging. That makes sense to me. So, but I guess the distinction between, is there an aspect which is this high frequency, pure kind of vibration to which I keep moving in and out of, or in more harmony and less harmony to? Is that more what it is? I'm just trying
If
to.
you're thinking about infinite field, and for a moment, for simplicity reasons, think about the board, the two-dimensional board or three-dimensional board, but a flat board, and then you moving yourself in variety of places. You go up here and then you go down there, you ask question here and you go up to the answer, you go up here to the question. We're now playing with the analogy you have of high and the frequencies. We do not like those terminologies because they go in variety of directions. But in this analogy that you offer, we'll go with it. We'll go with that higher, pure, more exciting, more thrilling. And it's true, you're going in and out. You're reaching the heights of it. You're reaching the heights of it for as far as you want to go. In other words, for as far as you can feel that the bliss of your physical experience is about observing your creation process. That's how far you can go. And there is no limit to it. In other words, if you're asking how far you can go in that frequency to feel that satisfaction, to go to that bliss, to go to that ecstasy, to go to that which you call is that steady source of everything that exists, you're moving through it so many times throughout the day that you do not sometimes even notice. And there is no only about the higher or lower or lefter or righter. It is only about that movement. And sometimes you feel like you're one with everything that exists. You really feel in your physicality that which we call we all are one. In other words, you feel that steady satisfaction, well-being as the base. And then you go out into observing something else so you can have more of those experiences. But if you were to be in only that experience, if you were to be only in that place of immense satisfaction and ease and bliss, and then not come up with the questions, that would become boring for quite some time, and that would mean that things would cease to exist from pure boredom. And the boredom is there sometimes to lullaby you into the feeling of ease, so you arm yourself, so you amp up the energy, so you amp up your energy coil between perimeter of you and integrated you into including more and more and more. And once you start including more and more being questions, then you can feel even higher heights, even purest of all the most purest experiences that you have in that particular sense. But that is also changing. Once you reach it, there is a whole new reconfigured experience that you have discovery about, and that is really what is in the essence and beauty of eternity.
And so is there this idea of a guidance, or the fact that I can feel within myself whether I'm moving in this moment with these desires or this interest, whether I'm moving toward or away, or how does that feeling of guidance, or is that...
What you're really asking is, are you also a God? And we say you are. What you're asking for is there anyone else who is guiding through? Is there anyone steady who is guiding through? And we say there is, and it's you. It is you from a perspective of everything that exists that is guiding your next step. It is you that it's your own guardian angel. It is you that you're your own God. It is you that you're your own source when you get to that place of being as unfocused as you can from that thing. In other words, there is nobody moving the pieces on a chessboard, and now you felt that guidance and you went with that, or you felt that guidance and you fell with that. It's all you at all times. You asking questions from your focus, and you receiving answers from your unfocus. You asking questions from your variety, and you from the place of everything that exists getting that place. You're always constantly dancing between you and you. You, everything that exists part of you, which connects you and every other person and every other particle in the universe. And then you in that point of self that it's asking those brilliant questions that can give you so many more answers along the way.
Got it. And so that even wider perspective is becoming more. And so that's...
At all times, with every question, we like to say that you and every other focusing mechanism and wider every particle in the universe has, there's a whole new reconfiguration of everything that exists. In other words, there's whole new reconfiguration of bliss and love and appreciation and satisfaction and ecstasy and enthusiasm and thrilling experiences. So all of that is completely brand new. It's kind of like you have had a little bit of ice cream, and then you went on about your life, and then you got something to cause you to ask for some more ice cream, and now you come to the ice cream shop and there are a whole new set of all flavors. Some of the flavors familiar to you, but there is new set of so many more that now you want to try this one and have satisfaction. And then you go back, and then there is a new flavor, and there is always going to be a new flavor of ice cream for you to try in this infinite everything that exists ice cream shop.
Great. Thank you. I'll see you later if there's any further time, but thanks.